What's going on, main characters? It's your boy Talks Too Much with Third Party Studios. Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we are talking about Ubisoft again. I know, we're tired of Assassin's Creed Shadows, but this one is a lot bigger. We're going to be getting into all of the details around Ubisoft splitting off into a subsidiary and covering what the involvement of Tencent looks like. We're going to cover all of it. It's going to be a fun conversation, so with all of that out of the way, let's get right into it. Hold on, intro. It's intro time. Shush, everyone shut up! Let's jump into another story. We got more to cover here. We're going to be talking about Ubisoft. Ubisoft. Okay, so we all know how Assassin's Creed Shadows came out. If you've been following the channel, we've been talking about Assassin's Creed Shadows for a year. I think maybe even longer.
It's been another long fucking press thing.
Yeah, and so we had just to help, just to get everyone up to speed. Assassin's Creed Shadows gets announced, and we're all excited that it's going to be finally an Assassin's Creed project set in Japan after how many projects have they had on Assassin's Creed? 7 more? I don't know the number. I'm guessing out of like my kind of recollection of the of the gameography. So, like, if you have an idea.
Mainline ones. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 of them.
Okay, so at least 10.
Yeah, more, yeah.
So we got 10 projects here, and we finally, after all of that time, all those video games have like been made and come out. They finally get a project set in feudal Japan, which people have been asking for. People who are fans of the franchise have wanted that for a long time. They finally get it, and because Ubisoft has gone so hard down the woke and DEI bandwagon, they had to make sure that the main characters of the story were both black and a female character. They could not allow themselves to put a Japanese character as the main character. That would have been too racist. Way too racist. Not allowed.
They scoured the history of Japan to find the one guy that visited in the 1600s and made him the protagonist.
Exactly. Now, one perspective on this. At the time, they were kind of starting to figure this out. Yasuke was becoming popularized in like Netflix with like Black Samurai. They had the Yasuke game.
Yeah, there's like adaptations.
Yeah.
Of the story.
So when they were doing like the character concepts of it, Yasuke was popularizing, at least in the development of those projects. So maybe they were trying to grab onto a trend, but they did it with the wrong IP. Then you have to have the other character who's a shinobi, who's like female character, had to be girl power, boss mode. I'm so glad they made her ridiculously weak, though. At least that makes sense.
Well, he's the tank and she's the stealthy one.
Yeah. So that's the starting point of this whole debacle. Then you have the fact that this studio had put so much money into hiring history and cultural consultants, or cultural sensitivity consultants, to make sure that they represented feudal Japan as accurately as they possibly could. Then they go off and they steal a bunch of like actual flags that people had, like that like different like organizations had and were using, that were like copyrighted and trademarked. And they had done all of this work to like disgrace and dishonor all of these historically significant sites and places in feudal Japan.
Yeah, there's like, you can destroy like temples and shit like that, or desecrate temples. You can just kill, okay, this has never been in an Assassin's Creed game, but you can just kill civilians willy-nilly in this one.
Oh.
Yeah, in the other ones, you'd like, if you killed one on accident, there would be like a warning, and the other one, they'd just be like death.
Oh, okay.
So Ubisoft is a French company, and I didn't realize they had such a grudge against Japanese people.
I mean, they got studios all over. not sure which one this one is made by.
But the other, so as soon as all of the cultural stuff started happening, where now Japan has like you could break all the shrines, you can destroy historically significant artifacts. They were getting all this history wrong about these character interactions and who was where and doing what. And then they started, there's more to get into with that, but Japan's government got involved, and petitions were being signed in Japan, where it was something like 80,000 people signed petitions calling out Ubisoft and saying they want the game like banned or like sent back to the studio to be reworked on, or with like changes that were culturally significant. So all of that was fantastic, and we really enjoyed talking about all of that stuff. And then the game, fast forward to in between now and then, Ubisoft had put out other games, not The Division, X-Defiant.
X-Defiant, Skull and Bones.
The Star Wars Outlaws.
Oh yeah, Star Wars. That one's so forgettable. Holy shit.
Star Wars Outlaws. So they had put out game after game after game that were
It was made by the Quebec.
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 Oh,
Still French bastards.
French Canadians.
Yeah.
They hate Japan even more. But they put out all these games that were just ridiculous flops. They failed so hard. They made no money. Some of them shut down after like 2 weeks. So it was absolutely horrible following all this news for them. Well, you get to the so all of that happens, and while those games are failing, Ubisoft's future, like financially, is in serious jeopardy. And that was news breaking last fall, that their stocks had been plummeting and just dropping so hard after specifically the Star Wars game. Star Wars game was kind of like the last straw. And then they're like, okay, we need Assassin's Creed Shadows to really make bank in order to keep us where we want to be. It has to be the best game we've ever sold. And that was last fall. And so after that happened, we were seeing news about Tencent, another large company in the gaming sphere, potentially out of China, potentially buying up Ubisoft, like just sucking them up, buying them, getting all the IPs, getting everything, and potentially saving the company after buying them and like rebuilding them to go back to doing things as well as they possibly could. So to get through all of that, and we get to release. Now on release day, we find out that the game is exactly what we thought it was going to be, as far as like it was very, very progressive, DEI, very woke. They had like gay sex scenes, they had gay interactions between characters, and they had Yasuke apparently screwing the Emperor's sister. Or am I getting that wrong?
I think it was
Nobunaga, his sister. So Yasuke.
Which there's some like backstory to like the imperial line is kept pure and whatnot, so insinuating that she's getting out with Yasuke is like, all right, so like all the emperors of Japan that henceforth got some black in them.
Yep, that was the best example of cultural like colonization
they have
ever.
like Chinese flags too, and it's, it's supposed to be Japan. And I don't know if you know this, but Japan and China don't really like each other.
They're not fun.
I did not know that.
Just a friendly reminder, if you haven't already, please consider subscribing to the channel if you are new. It is free, it's the best way to show your support and to help us grow. You can also always change your mind later. And if you haven't already, smash that like button to help us reach further out into that YouTube algorithm. Comment your thoughts on the video so far below. And if you haven't already, go check out the merch store. Links in the description. Got a lot of cool stuff in there. I think you guys are really going to enjoy. With that out of the way, let's get back to the video.
Oh yeah. There's some history there.
I've seen the South Park episode. They are not fun. They are not fans. Oh, shitty walk and shitty sushi. I'm speaking of English. Why don't you speak English? I'm just quoting the South Park episode now. It's funny enough to go watch on your own, guys. Just go watch it, okay?
Let me do these racist accents real quick.
Let me just drop some casual racists in the stream right now. Didn't mean to. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Sorry.
So the release drops. The game is an Assassin's Creed title, so I think everyone expected it to do somewhere in the middle, where it was not going to be a 0-out flop because Assassin's Creed fanboys were going to hard buy into it. And then you had people who are kind of mid on Assassin's Creed who like the franchise, but they wanted to make sure it was going to be a good game, and they did not care for it. And then there's everyone else who just didn't give the game even a chance.
Yeah, I wouldn't call it a complete flop, but it's not a success either. Like, there's reports Ubisoft put out, it's like, all right, we're up to 2 million players or whatever, which would, like 2 million units sold. They would need to sell like 4 or 5 in order to make a profit.
Yep.
Because it's a big company with a fuckload of employees that put a shitload of money into this game, and
Marketing budget.
Marketing's been fucking insane with all the like walking back stuff and trying to get people to come back.
Yeah.
But like
And the lawsuits.
so there's like sure you're up to 2 million players, but like almost 2 million of those players would have to come from console because there's 40,000 people playing on Steam.
So yeah, so this game just busted so freaking hard. So
a lot of people dropped off immediately after buying it.
And so the news broke that Ubisoft was breaking into a subsidiary. So they were making a second company to basically move their IPs over to, and to to basically have their Tencent's acquisition work through that subsidiary. So Tencent already owned 25% of this, or I think 25% is the number. I could be getting that one wrong.
Yeah, they own like a quarter of the Ubisoft now or something.
Yeah, so they had to do this spin-off company. Well, now the news breaks, and we got the story. Ubisoft employees fear layoffs after Tencent deal and new subsidiary formation. Ubisoft employees are rattled over potential of mass layoffs, and they have every reason to be. On Thursday, Ubisoft announced it is forming a new gaming subsidiary in partnership with Chinese tech giant Tencent. The new entity will house the company's most valuable franchises, including Assassin's Creed, Far Cry, Rainbow Six, along with select development studios.
Fuck yeah.
While the press release spins this as the start of a new bold chapter, internal reactions suggest that the only bold thing about this move is the level of uncertainty it has created for Ubisoft's remaining workforce.
I hope they just like, all right, we're gonna fire 75% of the company. We're gonna keep this
25%. That's
like,
nearly what Elon did with X.
they have like 19 to 23,000 employees. So it's like, yeah, thousands of you are gonna lose your jobs.
Yeah, that's Ubisoft is good. Okay. So this could look like a bad thing as far as like a big Chinese company buying up IPs, and I would rather see Elon buying them up, especially considering how cheap it is. I mean, for crying out loud, it's like, do we want every successful gaming venture to be made by China? I'd prefer not.
Well, they're doing it right now. Well, Ubisoft has been sucking for years.
That's my point.
Two of those, Assassin's Creed and Far Cry, I've played every single one of those games. I like the franchises, so I'd rather have it where, surprisingly enough, Chinese have my best interest as a gamer
Yeah.
than Ubisoft does.
I'm very fond of the due process I get in America. China's got some good video games. I don't know. It's like
They're doing their own thing with their government and whatnot. They just keep on providing me with good entertainment.
I am sure that if I went to China, I would spend my entire life in prison. I don't think I'd.
Oh, yeah.
There's no way.
As soon as you step off the train.
I'm taking the train from middle America to Beijing.
Yeah.
just across the Pacific. Just underwater trains.
I was just thinking about that.
Yeah, just they're like submarines, I think. So I mean, should we feel bad for the employees or
No.
not? Like, no. Ty, what do you think?
You
Bad
did
for the
a
employees.
bad job for many years. You're out.
I mean,
It's not really the developer's fault either, but
it's the direction of
it's
the
like,
studio.
all right, so what? We just keep you indefinitely just cause we get sads if we fire you?
I do feel like game development is an industry that has like enough demand that you're gonna be fine going somewhere else. I feel like there's so much. So
There's
many.
a fuckload of studios out there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you can either code or you can't. If you can code,
Learn
you
to
got a
code.
job somewhere. But
That's what
that company failed. Like the highest guy down to the, whoever was marketing it just didn't work. So they didn't do a good enough job to keep their jobs. But
Right.
Is this the first one we've seen fall then? This is the first fall because we've been talking about Warner Brothers and them being bankrupt for
I would
long
say
time.
It's the first big fall, yeah.
So just for context, Ty, we've been talking on the
Recent,
channel
yeah.
about like how does Warner Brothers Studios keep putting out these major blockbusters and have them all flop and lose money? How does Disney put out movies that lose $100 million at the box office, like The Marvels, for example, or other projects that they have, and not fail or break down? And this is the first one. This is the first big studio of any like major entertainment studio that actually
Is breaking down.
And it was weird to see them go before Warner Brothers. I'm just throwing this
I
out
don't
there.
know how Warner Brothers does. Whatever.
Were you trying to say something?
Like Disney, I could see keep going because they get money from their amusement parks and shit like that. So
fair enough.
They got money to lose. Warner Brothers doesn't.
Right.
But yeah.
Okay.
It's dead, and I'm glad my favorite franchises are moving the fuck on
To China.
to China.
To China.
We're going to China.
Going to Beijing, y'all. Which third-party studios, good road trip to Beijing.
Now the only thing that you can't do, you can't like type in like the year 1989 in the chat or anything because Tiananmen Square never happened.
Oh, this is what I mean. I would be so arrested. I would be so in jail.
yeah, I don't even know what you guys are talking about.
Big protests in '89 where the government killed a bunch of protesters.
In China.
China?
Yeah, and China denies it ever happened.
Yep.
Wow, they just can just rewrite history, huh?
Yeah,
That's
they can. It's the Communist Party of China. Yeah.
Shit.
who needs protests anyway. They're so in the way.
Tell myself that everything will end up alright. Just push yourself, test yourself, figure out what you like, and find your limits, don't be rigid, always work towards a prime. Surround yourself with open minds, people can change your life. A few friends with intent can help you feel alive. Find a passion, take some action, and with a little time, just be patient, make a statement, try to enjoy your life.